I'll be leaving here in just a few days to start my thru hike of the Pacific Crest Trail. So I figured while I'm packing everything up, it'd be a great time to go through some of my gear and show you what I'm bringing with me. So apparently I have company. Not quite sure what's happening here. Hi. I guess he's running. I guess this is where we're at right now. So, with that said, let's start with my pack. I'm taking the Waymark 50-liter pack. I've been using this for a couple of years now and absolutely love it. So it was a great find. I loved using it. Apparently we're interested in everything. I did add the hip belt to it and the side pockets as well, the hip belt pockets as well. Usually in one of them I'll keep things like my chapstick, my pocket knife, my hand sanitizer, some tissues, just so that I have easy access to them. And my other hip belt pocket usually gets filled with some snacks, some granola bars, some fruit snacks, things like that I can just kind of eat while I'm going along and just having a few small snacks along the way. You will notice I'm kind of putting things in two different bags. There are some things that I have to take with me that are not allowed to be checked or not allowed to be carried on, not checked, things that are not allowed to be carried onto the plane. So those need to go in a bag that I'm checking. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in my pack except for my pack liner, but apparently it smells amazing. So I don't know where he's going now, but off he goes. So those things I need to put in my checked bag. I will be carrying my backpack on the plane along with some of my gear that I know are things that will be more challenging to replace once I get to San Diego. Things that I have to will go into my check bag along with some other things just to make this easier to fit into overhead bin once I'm on the plane. Kind of starting with my big 3, we went through my backpack. For my tent, I'll be taking the big Agnes Tiger Well UL2. I've been using a Tiger Well for the last several years. Used to have the Tiger Well UL3. Obviously I'm one person. I don't need a 3-person tent to go on this trip with, but I would like a 2-person tent. I was trialing a lot of different tents leading up to this decision, but ultimately decided to go with the Tiger Well UL2 since I absolutely love the 3-person version of the tent. So that's coming with me. For my sleeping quilt, I have an Enlightened Equipment 10-degree bag. Yes, I put it in the stuff sack. I know not everybody does. I just find that I'm able to keep my gear more organized and have an easier time once I get to camp and when I'm leaving in the morning if I'm using stuff sacks and Ziploc bags for things. Otherwise, I get a little chaotic, I lose things. It's not fun. This is supposed to be fun and I want to make sure that I'm having fun the entire time. If that means I'm carrying a few extra ounces of some stuff sacks and Ziploc bags, so be it. With that, I do also have a small silk sleeping bag liner, just to start off the trip with, trying to keep my quilt kind of as clean as I can, and also just providing something between myself and my sleeping pad while I sleep. This can, especially when it gets humid or hot, this gets very sticky and it's not all that fun to just lay on. So having this nice little barrier, always worth it. It's off of Amazon. Whirlwind. It weighs next to nothing. So for my air mattress, I use the Sea to Summit Ultralight insulated pad. I prefer sleeping on a pad. I'm a side sleeper. I also roll around a lot. I have tried the Thermarest. However, with as much as I move and how loud that pad can be, it was not a very good fit for me. So this one I find very comfortable. The stuff sack on this does also have that inflatable, what do they call it? The Airstream pump sack. I don't always use it. It's really not necessary, but a lot of their sleeping pads now come with that air pump stuff sack. So here it is. I have it. I have an option if I want to use it. Let's see here. My trekking poles. I use a pair of Luckies. They are pretty beat up and worn down. I've had to replace some of the hardware on them. Again, I really enjoy these. If they wear down, if they break on trail, so be it. I know using this for the last several years, there's always potential that something can break and wear on it, which is how we ended up replacing some hardware on here. These are an example of something that cannot be carried onto a plane. Some airports will let it slide, others won't. I'm not risking it because then you end up having to toss them, throw them out at security, and that's not something I'm willing to risk. You'll notice I have some duct tape just in case I need any wrapped on my pole. That's also kind of a quick reference to any resupply packages I have. I'll be using this style of duct tape on, so it'll be able to quickly let post offices and places know that I'm looking for a box with this particular designed duct tape on it. So that's something that has to get checked. I did not think about the fact that these might not fit in the duffel bag. There we go. Hopefully they make that. They make it. The tent is something else that needs to be checked just because of the tent poles. Some airports will let that go through. Some won't. Not taking that risk. The next thing, actually going into my checked bag, is my cook system. I don't want to pull it apart. I want to keep it all together. The reason it needs to go into that checked bag is because of my stove. I just use an MSR Pocket Rocket. Been using this for years. I love it. I know other people use, this is a popular one. I know there's another one from Amazon that is used fairly frequently too. I have a little Cedar Summit foldable cup. I love having tea, so this is something that I use to have tea, usually in the nights or at morning when I stop for a break. I have a tiny little piece of sponge in here just to clean out my pot. My lighter cannot go on the plane. It can go in my carry-on. However, I'm just gonna honestly leave this behind and just grab one once I get into San Diego. I have a little small MSR titanium pot. I think they call this a kettle. I think because it just has the pour spout on it, but I find that for boiling water and making most of my meals, this is really all that I need. As far as fuel goes, that's something I'll be picking up in San Diego as well, since it's something that can't go on the plane. Let's see. I have a small, my bathroom bag has my trowel, wipes, toilet paper in here. I also carry some extra Ziploc bags in this one as well, just to use as garbage bags on trail in case there's anything I need to carry out. That's already taken care of and it's all in there. As part of my cook system, I did forget my spoon. My spoon will also be going into my checked bag, mostly just to keep all of my cook system together. Let's see. Part of my sleep system that I didn't realize I didn't grab yet, I do carry a little pillow with me. I enjoy it. I know not everybody does. Some people just fill their stuff sack with clothes. I kind of use a combo of both. I use this and fill a stuff sack with clothes and put it on top. So not something for everyone, but is something that's lightweight and that I enjoy having with me. Let's see. I have a small toiletry bag. This has some extra hair ties, toothbrush, toothpaste, my hairbrush. You'll notice that I have a container of baby powder in here, help with chafing, and I have a container of soap. I know that that's not something that everybody carries on trail. However, I do have some allergies that are pretty common and found in a lot of soaps and body washes and shampoos and things like that. And just kind of to help with washing my hands and showering when I get into town. I don't want to risk running into something that I'm not able to use, and unfortunately not being able to shower. So I am just carrying some extra soap with me just so that I have that in case I need it in town. And I'll be getting resupplied with that throughout my trip. My husband will be sending me extra bottles of that as I need it. Grabbed another thing. I do have a first aid kit that I carry with me. I have some daily medications that I need to take, as well as just some emergency allergy meds, Benadryl, some anti-diarrhea meds, some Tylenol, ibuprofen, things like that. Some Band-Aids, an ACE wrap. I've needed that several times for injuries on trail, as well as for when my tendonitis flares up. There's also a small needle in here and some Vaseline, as well as some moleskin for blisters. So then I'm just checking, just kind of keeping this pack as light as I can on the plane. Next thing coming with me is my electronics bag and my journal. There you will notice that I have quite a bit of electronics, kind of all of this coming with me. So we can kind of go through some of that I have so far. I have a pair of headphones for hiking during the day. Just a little pair of like pod headphones. My Garmin InReach Mini, been using this for years, absolutely love it. It's been great to organize rides when I don't have cell signal, but also just in case of emergency and for family to follow my location. Since I will be taking videos and I know that there are quite a bit of windy sections, I do have a microphone with microphone covers in here in case I need them. If this is something I find I'm not using on trail, it'll be something that'll go home, but for right now it's pretty lightweight. I don't mind carrying it. Inside of here I have a handful of cords for different things I'm using, for my chargers, for my phone, for my InReach, for my Garmin watch. They're all here. I have 2 battery packs, one Nightcore, one Anchor, 20,000 milliamp and a 10,000 milliamp. If it turns out I don't need this much power, I'll send the 10,000 one home. However, with taking videos, I don't really know where I'm going to be as far as power goes, because I have yet to take a trip where I'm recording videos as frequently as I think I will be on this trail. I have a black diamond headlamp, not the lightest, uses a battery, not a charger, but again, it's what I have. I'm not going to get something new. I do carry a pair of headphones for sleeping. I need to listen to something to fall asleep at home and on trail. Otherwise, that insomnia kicks in and I am awake until 2, 3 in the morning, and sleep is important. So those come with me. I have a journal, a little hiking log. This is perfect. It kind of has my start time, my end time, my mileage, what the weather was, but it also has places for me to put down people I hiked with, what water looked like, things that I saw along the way, kind of rating my day, and then a page for journaling as well, which I absolutely love. Do have a couple weird things in here. One of them is for early on in the trail. I am going to carry a pair of electronic rechargeable hand warmers. I picked these up a few years ago. We use it on day hikes when it's really cold here during the winter, and it absolutely heats up my entire body. He's back and don't know where he's going now. It heats up my entire body in a matter of minutes. This is something with the weather forecast that I'm looking at right now. It is going to drop into the low 30s, maybe high 20s the first couple of weeks at night. Once it warms up, these are going home. I'm not carrying this the entire trail. Probably won't even send them back to myself once we enter the Sierras. And the last thing that I have in here is actually a fan that plugs into my phone. I know it's ridiculous. It weighs next to nothing, and I made fun of my friend so much for having one for her phone until we were on a backpacking trip together. hit a heat wave. It was 105 to 107 for like the third, fourth day in a row. By day 5, we bailed. It was just way too hot. We were just going from rock to rock to lay on the cold rocks in the shade. And while we were laying there in the shade at one of the stops, she pulls this out, plugs this in. I laughed at her until I used it. And after I used it, and it helped me cool down so much, I hopped on Amazon and ordered myself one, and I have taken it on every backpacking trip in warmer weather that I've gone on, and I don't regret this. This is absurd. It is a ridiculous luxury item, and I will carry it with me, probably the entire trail. So there's that. Let me pack this all back in here. Couple other random things that I have laying here. Some sunscreen, which honestly probably should just go in my toiletry bag. My sunglasses, I do have a shoulder pouch, and I actually carry my sunglasses right in there, so that I can easily switch them out as I need them. A small cork ball just for rolling out my feet and my back. And then onto onto some of my clothes and my water system. I use the Sawyer Squeeze as well as a Ceanoc water bag, a 2-liter one. It just gives me some extra water carrying capacity as I need it, and I use it as a dirty bag for my water, so that'll be coming with me. I think other than that, it's just clothing that I have and some stuff that is not coming with me. So some extra clothing that I was keeping in an extra Ziploc bag, just trying to keep it clean as possible. Some extra underwear, socks, my thermals that I usually sleep in, and a pair of shorts. I just like to kind of keep my clean stuff separated from everything that gets kind of gross and dirty and disgusting on trail. Makes me feel a little bit better. Inevitably, a few days in, everything is gross and disgusting, so that's fine. My mid layer is a Smart Wool jacket. I've used this thing for years. I actually just had the cuffs redone on it. It used to have those thumb sleeves, and that was torn absolute shreds. So I had them completely taken off and re-sewn. So this keeps me really warm. I like how thin it is. It keeps me warm, but it's thin and doesn't add too much bulk. For my rain jacket, I just have an LL Bean wind rain jacket that I prefer. It's a lot more comfortable than my other rain jacket. However, I've only worn it in some lighter rain, even if it's been like cold rain here during training time. So if it doesn't hold up as well as I hope that it will, I'll send it home and send my other one that's just not as comfortable but works pretty well. For my puppy, I have an outdoor research jacket. It's been great. Honestly, I overheat in it, so really this is just something I use around camp more than I actually hike in. Being from Buffalo, I am very used to the cold and the snow, and oftentimes this is something I'll wear even on my way to work in the morning, but by the afternoon the sun's out, it's 30 degrees and I'm over it. It's too warm. So those are coming with me. With the warm weather starting off, I have a pair of Burton water resistant gloves and my Patagonia headband. I don't carry a beanie. My hair is very thick. Hats don't tend to stay on my head because of that, which is frustrating, but you know, we make it work. You'll notice I'm not really putting anything in these outside pockets right now, just for the flight. However, things like my rain jacket usually live on the outside of my pack. My gloves and my headband usually live somewhere in the outside of my pack too, so I can easily get access to it. So, but right now I'm just trying to get things in here. Another thing coming with me is just a small pack towel. It weighs next to nothing. Again, I feel like I've said that for about 5 items. However, I really enjoy having an option to dry things off if they do get wet and dry myself off. Let's see. Everything else, I use a pair of Ultra Lone Peak hiking shoes. Absolutely love these. Those I'll be wearing. And then I do carry a pair of Teva sandals. They are pretty worn out, but I've used these a few times on trail when I've had some pretty nasty blisters, or I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of water crossings that day. And they're a great pair of shoes to wear around camp and for town shoes. So they've been wonderful. I have a bag of food for my first resupply, first supply of food. There's more in there than honestly I really need, but it's not too bad as far as weight goes, and it just means I'll be purchasing less once I get to Mount Laguna for my first resupply. The only other couple of things coming with me is a small fanny pack. In here I have things like my pen for journaling, my wall outlet, a pack of gum, and a little waterproof wallet that also has my permits in it. So just something small that I can use in towns, but also just kind of use almost like a little stuff sack ditty bag just to put some miscellaneous things inside of. So that's coming with me. And the last thing coming with me is just a little Gossamer Gear foam pad. I have yet to use this on trail. This is something new, but I'd like to have a sit pad with me. So I figured we'll try it. If I don't love it, I can always send it back. It's really kind of the mentality I'm going with for everything. If I don't love something, it can come home. I'm not set or sold on carrying anything. So I think that's it for things I'm taking with me right from the start, other than the clothes that I'll be wearing. Other than that, there's a few things that I will be sending to myself along the way. Those include my micro spikes, an ice axe, bear canister, and my sun umbrella. So far, starting off, I'm not going to need any of this stuff early on. I'll have a couple of weeks before I kind of need to send my ice axe and my micro spikes to myself. Just need to wait and watch some trail reports and some weather reports to find out whether or not I need those. And then most of this I will not see until Kennedy Meadows and the Sierras, and then the sun umbrella probably after the Sierras will be when I send it to myself for Northern California. So I think that's everything. All right, thank you all. Bye.